We told you she was here. The host of Justice, Judge Jeanine Pirro, joins us today. Judge, we got to ask your point of view regarding John Kelly going to the briefing room yesterday. Not only was he telling the complete backstory, but it was super personal for him because he's a Gold Star father, lost his son, Robert, in Afghanistan.
And has another son in the service as well. Look,
with his fifth tour.
Fifth tour, of course. But, you know, when General Kelly spoke, you know, he spoke in such a way that he took most of us who had never heard about that sad journey that the young men and women that we lose take on their way home. They're thrown on ice and what happens to them. And that was so powerful. What he said should be the last word that anyone says about this issue. And that woman, that congresswoman, whatever her name is, wears a hat, she's a bozo. Stop it. End it. This is about men and women who die and not about politics, period.
Here's what Brian Fallon tweeted out, who failed miserably when it came to getting Hillary Clinton elected. It says, Kelly isn't just an enabler of Trump. He's a believer in him. That makes him as odious as the rest. Don't be distracted by the uniform.
Yeah, and what is his claim to fame? I'm not even going to get started on him. He is as irrelevant at this point.
But he's lost his axis of justice and moral code.
But hasn't all of the left lost their axis of justice and moral code when all of a sudden people who die for us, you know, are not worthy of respect? This congresswoman that wears the hats, she is not a supporter of veterans. She has voted against issues that support
about 10 votes anti-military.
Anti-military, and you know, we've got people in the NFL who won't stand for the flag. These people who go out and fight for us and die for us, the parents who live in the ripple effect of that horrible wake, end up, you know, just living lives of sadness, and they want to walk around. This woman's saying, I'm a rock star. What is wrong with them?
Yesterday morning, top story was this investigation into the Clinton Foundation and Russia, and Bill Clinton with his speeches. Well, the mainstream media really didn't cover it much yesterday, and the president was bashing the mainstream media for that. What's your reaction?
Well, you know, this is something we knew about when Peter Schweizer came out with his book. Look, the big Russia story is the fact that Bill and Hillary Clinton, because of her position as Secretary of State, were able to cash in on one of the biggest and one of the largest scandals that involve the United States and another foreign country, which just happens to be Russia. Now, my understanding is it wasn't 143 million. It was more than that that went from this uranium one to the Clinton Foundation for the sale of our uranium to Russia. Russia now owns 20 to 25% of our uranium. Why is that significant? It's significant because uranium is used to make a nuclear weapon. And don't tell me it's just nuclear energy. You put your foot on the gas pedal and you can make a real nuclear weapon. All right. Now, what we've got is a person who ends up in on a disclosure agreement, not able to talk about the fact that bribery has been going on. And Loretta Lynch calls him up and says, look, you can't talk about the fact that the FBI was investigating Russia and corruption and kickbacks all during the Obama administration. So you've got money passing hands, you've got Bob Mueller's the head of the FBI, and you've got Loretta Lynch calling and saying you cannot talk about this investigation we were doing, Hillary Clinton approving the deal, Hillary and Clinton and Bill making money on the deal, and they're shutting down all of the information that we can get. Look, these people belong in jail. The evidence is there.
No time on the national news at all. This wasn't covered on the national news, but it was the front story on Media before we started the show today.
Well, that's good.
Which is a blog regarding media. But here's the thing. So we know now that apparently the FBI was actually investigating the corruption. They had somebody on the inside who was talking about what looks like bribery to everybody else. And yet the Obama administration went ahead and approved the deal where they bought 20% of the uranium. But here's the thing. If the president were watching right now, all he's got to do to fix one of the things that's a problem for you is all he's going to do is call Jeff Sessions and say, Mr. Attorney General, you need to go ahead and the guy who's in the non-disclosure agreement, you know, no reason to have that anymore. Tell us who it is and have him testify.
Chuck Grassley has said, I want to hear from this guy. Jeff Sessions can release him from this
On his own.
agreement that Loretta Lynch called him personally, which shows how important it is, and says, we're going to put you in jail. Normally, I have never heard of a witness being threatened, especially someone who was on the inside working for the government, being threatened with jail if you say in front of Congress or anyone else.
This is the best way to get to the bottom of the story by him doing that.
Jeff Sessions not only needs to get rid of this non-disclosure agreement and allow this guy to talk, he needs to do a grand jury. Bob Mueller, we now know, is totally conflicted. He was the head of the FBI when this was going on. Jim Comey is totally conflicted from all of this stuff. The facts are clear. The whole Obama administration and the whole lot of them were involved in the biggest corrupt scandal.
We've only
in
gone
this
2 days
history.
without saying the name James Comey, so now we've blew that. We're going to watch you this weekend, right?
Yeah, I'll be on Saturday at 9. Saturday night. Repeats at midnight, but I'll be in L.A., so it's 6 o'clock in L.A. and then 9.
And then you can still go out.
Yeah, in L.A. you can.